cup of tea and join Frida Phyllis in the chat room at Frida Phyllis this very day. Good day to all the beautiful women. May I once again wish you a very blessed Women's Month. We thank God for His grace up until this far. With me in the chat room, I want to invite Valerie, beautiful woman. The other day, we also were in a conversation about how she was graced by God surviving cervical cancer. This day, however, we are speaking on another testimony. Indeed, God is good to this woman. This is a very heartfelt testimony, standing in the shoes of a woman losing a beloved son. May I ask Valerie to introduce herself? Thank you so much.
Hello dear viewers, I'm Valerie Kok, residing in Lichtenburg, but I am from Vereniging. I also stayed in the R, my mother's hometown. Amen.
Thank you so much. Valerie, I am so sad. I remember the tears and the confusion when we received the news of the passing of your son. I want to first go back to what's his name?
His name was Ronaldo Oman Kok, and he just turned 26 that year in 2018.
2018. This is but recently.
Yes, Pastor.
When you think about him, how do you remember him? Give me some signs of his character.
Pastor, he was a jolly young man. Yeah, he made us laugh, and oh, it was so nice to have him at home. But lately that year, he changed. We couldn't understand what was happening in his life.
In 2018?
Yes, Pastor.
Yeah. Sure. When you think about your last conversation with him?
Yes, Pastor. I was the last one of the family to saw him that night. I can remember clearly. It was on the 12th of December. He told me, "Mommy, please give me my money that you owe me." And I said, "Just wait here in the kitchen. I'm going to get it." And when I came back from my room, he was standing in the kitchen. And he said, "I'm just going quickly to the tuck shop." And I can remember it was past 9 because the tuck shop closes at 9:30 around that time. Yes, Pastor.
It was just a quickly going to the tuck shop.
Yes, Pastor. And then he didn't sleep at night that night. But we were not worried because he usually did that.
You were saying you did not return home that night.
Yes, Pastor.
And for you it was like normal. You could have ended up with a friend at a party and not return home.
Yeah.
Sleep over with friends.
Yeah, he
and
was
so.
always sleeping out. Yeah, Pastor. Then he returned the following morning early.
Yeah.
Yes, Pastor.
Yeah. And the next day?
The next day, the 13th, he didn't return home. But I thought to myself, maybe he'll come later on. But the day went by and he didn't come. That was on a Thursday. he didn't come home. Also, the Friday was the 14th. We had an appointment with my husband's cousin's son. Me, his auntie, and him had to went there, but he didn't preach. So I got worried because it was unlike him.
It was not his nature.
Yes, Pastor.
Okay.
But furthermore, he went and visited friends and family. When he came there, he said, please phone my dad and tell them I'm here. And that didn't happen.
So there was now question marks.
Yes.
Where is this child and why is he not coming back and why is he not calling? And did you try calling him?
He didn't have a phone at that time, Pastor.
I understand.
Yes. But I called everyone I could think of, even his friends here in Pola. But some respond and others didn't.
But none of them have seen him.
Yes. And I asked around here. And
How many days passed since that day that you have seen him last?
It was a week. After a week, I really started to get worried because it was unlike him to just stay away. And when 2 weeks passed, I told my husband, let's go to the police station to go see maybe if he was arrested. I told the policeman we want to open a case of a missing person. And she said, it was the lady helping us. She said we must bring a photo. But they are not going to open a case right that time. They have to come and investigate to hear from his friends and everything. And Pastor, his friend from across the street told me, did he come back? I said, from where? He said, no, he said he's going to Mafeking. And then I got new hope and I forgot about the photo. And we started looking again and again and again, but nothing, to no avail. And Pastor, you won't believe, during the time when I thought about the photos, I looked here and there, but couldn't find the box because we stashed it in a box. And my mother phoned me one morning, early in the morning, and said she had a dream about him, that he was laying in a blue bag. And I said, no, he told me he likes to climb up the lorries, and it's maybe under that blue material that he was lying. But my heart was so sore, Pastor, because it wasn't nice at home. We were eating, we don't know. Did he have food?
Where he is. You were mother, hey?
Did he have somewhere to sleep? Is his clothes enough on him? Because I couldn't remember what he was wearing, although I was the last person to saw him. And in January, or the 12th of January,
we're talking about a month later now.
Yes, Pastor. I was sitting and cooking, and my heart was so sore, and I missed him dearly that day. So that was on a Saturday, the 12th, Sunday, 13, Monday, 14.
Before we go there and you proceed, I think sometimes, I mean, we are talking about a man of 26 years. We might think that perhaps he's with a girlfriend, he's with a group of friends, and they are just having fun, forgetting to inform the parents. May I kindly speak to some young people out there, and I pray and trust that you will carry the message across. In future, whatever you are doing, remember there are mothers at home. There are family members at home. Back then, they're worried about you. Worried, are you fine? Are you sorted? Are you eating? So what we want to ask the viewers to make sure that when you go out to have a good time, when you go out with friends, be responsible to always inform your loved ones about where you are. Make that quick call, send a quick SMS. Because as I'm listening to a mother, it is not nice for a mother to wonder where her child may be. Thank you so much. You may proceed. Thank you.
And on the 15th of January, my husband, he is a sales consultant at a dealership selling cars. So there was customers from the mortuary and they didn't answer their phone. So we decided to go and look for that customer. Not in like said, I'm going to look for my son. No, not in that way.
Don't say that.
Yeah. And when we got there, he spoke to the customer. It was his wife that wanted a car. So he decided to go to the husband. And after their business, he asked them, is there not people here that came in during December? Because I'm looking for my son. And they said there was two that came in. And one came in from hospital, but it is unknown. And he said, no, let me leave it. And the other one said, no, let me go show you. And they went into, the other guy went into the mortuary, opened it and what, and then he called him, come and see. And then he saw the techies, was our boy's techies. But he wasn't sure. Then he said to them, please, I'm just going home to go get my wife and son to come and make sure, is it him? And he came home and I wasn't in the mood to go with him. We must go.
No, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine.
We must go to the mortuary to see if it's him. And to go and view the body to see if it's really him. And Peter's aunt and Maro, the other brother, went in, straight in, and they examined him. I was standing at the door. I couldn't go nearer. And you know, the public mortuary, there's a smell. So I was standing in the door like this, and just to get used to the smell. And the other auntie who raised him when he was still a little baby, she just went in and went out and started to cry. And I got so annoyed because we wasn't sure yet, or otherwise me, I still had that hope. then Maro said, no, Dad, it is him. And then I got
You went closer.
closer, and it didn't look like him. But when I saw he had a tattoo on his arm here. He was lying like this, and the eye was a little bit open. He looked like he burnt. But the people who worked there said it's because he was so long in the mortuary. And I had to go and look and make sure, is it really, 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 really Omen? It took me a long time. I looked and I looked and I looked, and everybody was finished, but I still looked. And then after I was satisfied that it was him, we got out.
What went through your mind?
A lot of questions, Pastor. Yeah. And that people were talking and they say where they got him, and you know what? He went out on the 12th. They found him morning hours there on a certain road, the 13th. So it wasn't a long time. And they said it was...
It meant the night of the 12th. When he went out of the house is the night he died.
Yes, Pastor. But when the ambulance got him there on that road, he was still alive, but he couldn't speak. I think he was in a coma.
Was it a hit and run?
They say it's a hit and run, Pastor. But his body was, it was perfect. He just had bruises in his face and then a wound to his head.
Perhaps then, yeah.
Yes, Pastor.
A fight or something.
Yes.
There's not yet conclusion of what was the reason of death.
Yes, Pastor.
I understand.
Although they say it's a hit and run, we are left
with many questions.
Yes, Pastor. And if we just can get closure to know what really happened, because it's still very so. It feels like it happened yesterday. But the Lord, He carried us through. And a lot of people, even you, the Lord told you that He said He loved us. He loves us very much. And He is in a better place. So we can find hope in that.
And consolation.
Yes, Pastor.
We thank God. We have listened to the story of Valerie Koch on how she lost a beloved son, on how it impacted the family. And we can see it's still an open wound. What I want to say to the viewers is, when you miss a loved one, when someone disappear, take action. We are listening to a story of a young man that ended in a morgue, and the parents never thought that there might be a possibility that the child may be dead, maybe no more. I want to thank the Lord for the journey of pain. The scriptures say we must thank God for good and bad. What I want to encourage Valerie with is that nothing is hidden for the eye of God. And I know it is in human nature. As you were saying, if I can just know what exactly happened that night, if I can just have answer to unanswered questions, then I will be at peace. But when I look at your life up to this far, a year later, a year and 6 months, if we can count roughly, God has carried you through as a family. There were times when you broke down and it seems like the bitter cup did not pass. But we will keep on praying for you.
Amen.
What can you tell women out there who lost a loved one? How can you motivate and encourage them?
I can tell them today, woman, it's not the end of the road. The Lord is always there to keep you and to carry you. Don't break down and never get up. Life must go on. And people are only, the Lord only, He borrowed those people to us to look after them. But when the time comes and He wants them back, we have to release them. It's not easy, but I hope you find some hope in this saying. Amen.
Thank you so much. We are in the chat room with Frida Phyllis and Valerie Koch. What we want to say to the viewers out there, God is with you, even in your times of difficulty. May God grant you more grace in your times of tears, in your times of devastation. We thank God for the woman who joined me this day and for her personal story she shared. Thank you and happy Women's Month.